Good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning, good morning, good morning. We are 0.0024 from breaking 270. That's so cool. Part of me wanted to push it over, but I was like, nope, let's exercise some discipline, put it in the liquidity pool, put it in the liquidity pool, put it in the liquidity pool. And for those that are new or for those that are, well, I don't really understand the difference, yeah? Like why put in the liquidity pool? So the price is cosmetic. Up until we're a fully functioning market. So, for instance, if there was, say, there was a billion Rhino bucks in existence, but only 10 Rhino bucks in circulation, well, I could theoretically make the price of it $10,000, and you could be like, "Oh my God, I own 100,000 Rhino bucks, and look, the price is $10,000. 100,000 Rhino bucks times $10,000." But the part that you're missing in that equation is, yeah, on paper that's the way it works, but could you ever get access to the 100,000 you own? No, it's locked. And if you did, could you ever sell it? No, there's only 10 in circulation. You would destroy the whole thing. The point being, I'm obviously using a very extreme example, but just know that that's how I think, right? So the way I think is I want to make that, I want the market to be fully functional, fully mature, so that everyone could say, oh, well, I do have 10,000. Look at the price. I could sell 10,000 at seven. Great. I just came into $70,000. Until that's the everyday norm, well, then I still have work to do. And taking victory laps by just running the price up is not something I'm ever going to do. My victory lap is many years ahead, not today, but be that as it may, 269.76 is pretty freaking, freaking is what the word I was going to say. Cool. So let's just run through it. So Rhino Bucks, new all-time high. That's a good thing. By all accounts, it'll be pushed over 270 tomorrow, which will be cool. Let me see what the liquidity pool is actually. We're over 132,000. 132,000, 132,180 bucks is how much Rhino Bucks is worth right now, which is so cool. It was worth 65,000 in February. 5 months later, that's really, really cool. All right, that's that. I think it still surprises me how many hours those videos take to make. So the video that I sent in last night's email, which actually didn't get sent till 8:45, which I want to send for 7:30, but um, YouTube just needs, I don't know, God knows, it just needs forever to do these videos. So I did actually complete it at 6:30. And I knew it was going to take a while, so I actually scheduled the email for 8 o'clock. And then I realized it wasn't done, so I scheduled it for 10 o'clock. And then, it was done by 8:30, so I did 8:45. But that video last night was the 15 minutes of what Rhino Friend is. And then we added an additional 10 minutes of the behind the scenes when we were having our own call between me and the team members, the developer team that's actually going to build it. The value of that video is, sure, everyone sees me, but does Anthony actually know how to do all that stuff? Kind of, sort of, no, right? Like, if I had to argue, do I know how to? I would argue just enough for you to buy 2 weeks of time before I had to prove it, and then I would just learn it, which is okay. Worst case scenario, Anthony can figure it out, but no, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. My superpower is being able to see it and then delegate and get my hands dirty with the team, right? My superpower is I can see it and then I'll outwork you. And then the person looks at me, they go, wait, I'm the one that's supposed to be doing this. Why are you outworking me? Well, that's because that's what I do, right? So let's go. And I just find it more, I just always found it more beneficial to be in the trenches than to be on the ivory tower. When I worked on Wall Street, I used to have a really nice office, and and I had a team of people that worked underneath me. They were called cold callers, right? And I would still go into the boardroom and sit with them. And people would say, why aren't you in your office? I'm like, I don't want to be. That office is, even when I had clients come in, I wouldn't go. In fact, one of our rhinos here, I only met a couple of our rhinos, but there was one from New Jersey that actually came into my office to visit me. Let me see if he's on right now. No, he's not. But if he was on, I would ask him, what was your experience? Mind you, I'm wearing like, I look exactly the way I do right now, except I had jeans on. But then I think I had sandals on with no socks on. I took the sandals off and I'm walking around my floor barefoot. I then go up to my whiteboards and say, okay, this is what we're doing. Ba, 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 ba. When it was done, it looked like a Jackson Pollock painting. You couldn't see anything, but we both understood what I was saying. And I think the takeaway was I don't know everything that man just said, but I know he knows everything he just said. And I believe in that guy. At least that's what I think the takeaway was. It's just in my experience, that's what the takeaway usually is. Um, but that's this. Oh, the team. To just give you a behind the scenes look what things look like. And the idea being that upon watching that video, you would say, okay, they're like all systems go. It's not just Anthony out there saying this, and this. I'm watching him. He's talking to the team. They have relevant feedback. Everyone did the research. Now they're launching, or now they're building, right? It's in production. So that's where Rhino Friend is. Before I get to the really cool stuff, which I'm actually going to censor, which is funny because I've never censored anything before, but I actually think I do need to. And for the betterment of all of us, it's not like, oh, I want to keep a secret from you. I just think I kind of got to keep some things close to the vest. Otherwise, it's to the detriment of all of us. So first, we'll start with Rhino Welt. So I did take a Rhino Welt call yesterday. I remember telling you that there was an individual that is looking to create his own hedge fund, and they have the money, and blah blah blah. So I took that call yesterday, and their offer is they'd like to. And I told them I have to be like an actual employee position because again, my license doesn't allow me to dictate trading. You could hire me as a research analyst, right? I could share my research with you, and what you do with it is your behalf, and then you can bonus me um, based on your performance, right? So there is some nuance with how that contract would look, but it's above board. And I think what we'll end up doing is they're talking about having the contract ready by September 6th, in which case they'll put a fund together of $100,000. They will hire me as research, and they will compensate me in 20% of profit. Now, the value is me, right? Like you could have all the money in the world. If you want to get into stocks and you don't know how to make money, well then what do you, it means nothing. It's so funny because in the stock market, the person with the money is not the important one. It's the person that knows how to make the money that's the important one. So I will be able to navigate that quite well. But if they turn 100,000 over once or twice a month and they do 4 different trades that make 20%, you could see the numbers growing quickly. And if that could be a source of, I don't know, an extra 6, 7,000 a month that goes right into Rhino Bucks, I'm happy to do it. It's not like I'll be doing something extra. I'll just be giving them a little bit more white glove service than the emails that go to Rhino Welt. And that's the difference between paying $5 a week and I guess 7,000 a month. I don't know. You know, when you do things well, people find you. So we'll see what happens, but that's the update with that. So the thing I have to keep kind of close to the vest. So ever since I spoke to that investor the other day, there's a few things that from the conversation that continue come to mind. A few comments the individual made. And I'm not even going to say them out loud. And the reason why is because now we're getting to a point that for the longest time, everyone's always said to me, Anthony, you share everything. You say all your ideas out loud. You say what you're thinking about doing. You say what you're thinking about doing. Why couldn't anyone just rip you off? And the answer's always been, well, they'd have to be me, right? And it's not that I am so much better than anyone, but all the ideas that I've always shared have such a level of Anthony involved in them. So for this to work, I would have to do this, and then there's just a lot of Anthony in it, whether it be the live calls, whether it be the relationships, whether it be what I'm willing to do, the workload, all the rest of it. Rhino Friend is different. Rhino Friend is such a good idea that somebody could steal it and beat us to it. They really could. Because the components of it, which I shared on the video yesterday, are all there. We have them. Anyone else could go get them. And it's not that I think anyone else my level plus or minus can do, but it's such a good idea that a large corporation or someone with means would say, they just figured out 100% marketing. All right, before they actually go into production, all right, bring in the marketing team. Let's get $1 billion to do this project. Do we have all the pros? Okay, go build it. Now let's put the marketing effort out there. Let's go hire Brad Pitt. Let's go hire Claire Danes. Let's get everyone talk. Rhino buddy. Or not Rhino buddy, I guess Brad Pitt buddy, right? That actually can happen. And we would be left holding the bag on that. I'm not okay with that. I'm really not. Like that's the first time I've actually thought we were vulnerable. I cannot actually share every component of the idea, where it's going, how it can, because I've already thought ways it can grow further. Um, and I've thought about a new structure for it. Um, but I say all this because I do have something to say about it. That's when I put this all down on paper and I speak to this individual, I actually don't think there's a chance the person could say no. I just don't, because it's just so obvious. Um, so I need to spend time. I'm going to be doing all day developing that. I'll probably spend all day tomorrow developing it as well, because I want to get it in the individual's hands by Monday. I'm actually going to have to make them sign an NDA too, because it's just that level. So, assuming the person says yes, which I believe they will, let's say 2 months from now, we come into $500,000 and a commitment that they'll fund growth going forward, which again is a nice commitment to have because then you don't have to worry about money ever again. But it's also not a commitment that someone makes and they feel like, oh man, you really stretched me. No, everybody wants to fund growth. If you go ahead and lend a company $100,000 and it gets all these contracts, but they can't afford to fulfill the contracts, and they go to you and say, "Hey, we finally made it over here. Can you give me the money to fulfill the contracts so we don't go bankrupt?" Do you think that person says no? They go, "Oh my God, yeah, like duh, here, here, here. I'm going to charge you 5% on this money, but like here, take it, take more, take more." So that's not the hard part. Meaning, if the answer is so obviously yes, and the growth part is not the hard part, then it's just off to the races. The price of it today, 269. That's cool. It's great. I actually was thinking that to even structure what I'm thinking about doing, we'd have to buy Rhino from people because the numbers just wouldn't make sense. Because I'm thinking Rhino Research has equity holders, Rhino has people that own Rhino Bucks. But if we're going to do this thing with Rhino Bucks, then it effectively is kind of equity. Equity kind of gets pushed out a little bit because the Rhino Bucks steals the show. Rhino Bucks is everything going forward. So how do you go ahead and bring in the people that have equity plus the people that own Rhino Bucks to equal a number under the total amount? And it does, but it would be at the sacrifice of my equity. Like I would just be brought down to practically nothing, which actually doesn't even bother me that much because I have 5% of Rhino Bucks. So effectively, I'd be a 5% owner in the company, um, which is fine. Again, I'm cool with that. But I think even still, if we wanted to have a little bit of room, like, okay, we don't want to just have 100% of it spoken for. We want to go to the market. We want to get excitement. We want people to be a part of it. For that to happen, I think we would have made some relationships along the way over the next year that would want to participate as well. In which case, those people, we'd have to tell them that there's no Rhino Bucks that exist. Like it's all spoken for. If you'd like to make a tender offer to Rhino and say, hey, listen, anybody willing to sell at 5, we'll buy it all right now. You could do that. So between now and when it actually hits center stage, the path of least resistance, once this first domino goes down, is there will be people that say, okay, listen, Ant, before it like really, I'm saying going public, even though we're public in coin, but is there another step? Can we, and I don't want to get into that stuff, but before it goes there, can people offer to buy positions from existing holders? Yeah, why wouldn't they? They can. I'll even introduce them. Hey guys, this is Mark from blah blah blah. He'd like to go ahead and buy 2 million Rhino. He's willing to pay $7 a Rhino. Um, Anybody wants to sell? Submit your tender to Mark. Okay, great. Press the button. I think that's just where we're going. I really do. So I have to get through this weekend. I have to put the stuff together, and I have to get the yes. But that's only one word. It's 3 letters. And if anybody believes that one word of 3 letters is going to be the difference between what I'm thinking about right now and not, then you obviously you haven't been a part of Rhino too long. And if it means me personally sacrificing for deals to get done, I don't even think there's a chance I would say no. I'm speechless. Yeah, duh. Like it's for Rhino. I don't know. But all right, let's leave it there because I don't want to go too much into it, nor do I want to pretend like I'm teasing people. I'm really not. I just, if I were to share everything that I'm thinking, it really could be someone could just take notes and if they had money, they could steal it from us. And this is the first time I can actually say that out loud because this is a simple step one, step two, step three. If you agree with the idea, then there's not much more to it. I guess that's it. Love you. I'll see everyone later. Bye.